My friend, there's a truth most men over 60 never realize. The biggest enemy of your prostate isn't medication, and it isn't age. It's sitting right on your plate in the foods you eat every single day. Not something exotic, not a mysterious toxin, but everyday foods, things you've eaten for decades that silently fuel inflammation, slow circulation, increase pressure on your bladder, and force your prostate to work much harder than it should. I've had countless men ask me, why is my flow getting weaker? Why am I waking up 2 or 3 times every night? Why does this heavy feeling in my lower abdomen keep getting worse, even though I take my medication and exercise? And the answer often isn't found in the clinic. It's found on the plate in front of you. Today, I, Dr. Emily Carter, am going to show you 3 familiar foods that are quietly making your prostate worse every single day, and how changing them can start with just one simple decision. My friend, I'm Dr. Emily Carter, a urologist with more than 14 years of experience working with thousands of men over 50. But today, I don't want to speak to you only as a doctor. I want to speak as someone who has seen far too many men lose their quality of life simply because they didn't know what was silently damaging their prostate every day. What I want to give you today is not fear, it's clarity. Because once you understand what's really happening inside your body, you can make better choices, and within just a few weeks, your body will begin to respond. I've seen men make just one small dietary change and experience fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom from 3 times down to once below, a stronger, more comfortable urine stream, the heavy pressure in the lower abdomen disappear, and a renewed confidence in intimate moments. Today, I want to help you identify the 3 most common foods that quietly worsen inflammation, disrupt circulation, and make prostate symptoms worse, even if you're taking medication or exercising regularly. And more importantly, I'll show you how to replace them in a simple, realistic way, without extreme restriction, without feeling deprived. My friend, there's something many men are never clearly told. Your prostate isn't misbehaving just because you're getting older. It is responding to what has been happening inside your body for years, especially circulation, metabolism, and the silent inflammation that builds up over time. After 60, blood flow to the pelvic region slows. The tissues around the prostate become more sensitive to inflammation, and the bladder becomes less flexible and less efficient. When these 3 factors collide, you begin to notice symptoms that feel familiar: a weaker urine flow, pressure or heaviness in the lower pelvis too, feeling like you didn't empty completely, waking up 2-3 times a night, sometimes more speed, and especially a gradual shift in confidence during intimate moments. Most men assume it's just age, but I want you to understand this clearly. Age is only the background. The speed of decline depends on your daily habits, especially what you eat. And when you change the right habits, these symptoms can improve much faster than you expect. Before I reveal the first enemy, I truly want to understand my audience better. How old are you? And which state or city are you watching from? Leave a comment below. I read every single one, and I use your feedback to create the most helpful videos for our community of men over 60. My friend, the first enemy of your prostate isn't one single food. It's an entire category that millions of men over 60 still eat every day: processed red meats and charred grilled meats. I'm talking about sausages, bacon, hot dogs, deli meats, salami essers, high-fat hamburgers, and those charred, blackened grill marks many men believe make meat taste better. Many of us grew up hearing, real men eat meat. But after 60, something most men never hear is this: these meats have the opposite effect on your body. They increase chronic inflammation, stiffen blood vessels, and slow down circulation to the pelvic area, right where your prostate needs healthy blood flow the most. Processed meats contain high levels of saturated fat, salt, nitrites, and harmful compounds formed during smoking, frying, or cooking at very high temperatures. Once they enter your system, they create an environment where the prostate becomes swollen, sensitive, and sluggish. Many of my patients tell me they start experiencing a slower urine stream, more pressure in the lower abdomen, more nighttime urination, and a general irritated feeling after heavy, greasy meat meals. They assume it's just age. But when I look closely at their diet, the real problem is right there, in the foods they've been eating for years. The good news is you don't need to eliminate meat completely. Just reduce the frequency, choose leaner cuts, and replace a few meals with omega-3 rich fish, such as salmon or sardines. These small changes alone can reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and help your prostate breathe easier. Enemy no. 2. Sugary drinks and refined carbs, the silent disruptors. The second silent attacker of your prostate is sugary beverages and refined carbohydrates. Things that look harmless, but disrupt your body far more than you realize. I'm talking about soda and carbonated drinks, sweet tea and energy drinks, bottled fruit juices that look healthy, pre-made coffee with cream and syrups, white bread, pastries, cookies, and regular pasta. The danger here isn't just the sugar itself, it's how your body reacts to it. Every time you drink a sugary beverage or eat refined carbs, your blood sugar spikes. Your body releases insulin to handle it. But when this repeated spike happens hundreds of times a month, you slowly move into insulin resistance. And insulin resistance isn't only the first step toward diabetes, it completely alters your body's inflammatory environment. It increases belly fat, disrupts hormones, and makes the tissues in your pelvic region, especially the prostate, much more sensitive to pressure and inflammation. Many men over 60 don't understand why. Their stream is weaker. They feel burning or heaviness. Nighttime urination increases well. Morning energy drops. Intimacy changes in unexpected ways. They never suspect the real cause is that midday soda, or the little treat they eat every afternoon. The good news is, change doesn't have to be difficult. You can start slowly. Replace one soda with water or lemon water. Switch white bread to whole grains. Swap sweet tea for unsweetened herbal tea. Just one small swap a day is enough to reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and allow pelvic circulation to work more smoothly. My friend, to understand why this group of foods affects your prostate so strongly, you need to look at 3 critical processes in the body: circulation, hormones, and the urinary reproductive system. When your blood sugar spikes repeatedly, the blood vessels, especially the tiny capillaries in the pelvic region, begin to suffer damage. The endothelial lining becomes stiffer and loses the elasticity that normally helps blood flow smoothly. As a result, blood flow to the prostate, bladder, and pelvic floor slows down, making these tissues more prone to swelling, irritation, and poor recovery after each day. From a hormonal perspective, insulin resistance leads to increased belly fat, and belly fat is not silent. It releases inflammatory chemicals that disrupt male hormone balance and make the prostate more sensitive to internal pressure in the pelvic area. And then there's the urinary reproductive system. When blood sugar fluctuates, the nerves that control the bladder and urethral sphincter work less efficiently. This explains why so many men over 60 begin noticing slow urination, hesitancy before the stream starts, feeling like the bladder didn't fully empty, waking up 2-3 times a night despite previously sleeping well. Many patients tell me they thought these symptoms were just normal aging. But when they reduced sugar, cut out soda, switched to whole grains, and limited pastries, within only 2-4 weeks, they experienced a noticeably stronger urine stream, less pressure in the lower abdomen, and a much lighter, more comfortable feeling in the morning. This reveals something important. The prostate doesn't only respond to age, it responds to the environment you create every day through your food and drinks. My friend, the best part is that this second harmful food group is not hard to replace, and you don't need to eliminate it completely. Even gradual changes can bring relief quickly. You can start with simple swaps. Replace one soda a day with water, lemon water, or sparkling water. Switch from white bread to whole grain bread. Swap afternoon pastries for fresh fruit or a handful of nuts round. If you enjoy sweet tea, gradually shift toward unsweetened herbal tea or reduce sugar slowly. Every small change is like sending your body a reduce inflammation command. Every time you choose more natural, less processed food, You protect your prostate from pressure and chronic irritation. I've seen many men eliminate sugary drinks for just 10 to 14 days and notice better, deeper sleep, fewer nighttime urinations, less heaviness in the lower abdomen, and noticeably improved morning energy. You don't need perfection. You just need to start. And if you're still watching right now, I want you to take one powerful but simple action. Leave a comment below. I'm cutting back on sugary drinks starting today. Or tell me which sugary drink you consume most often. This not only motivates you, it shows other men in our community that they're not alone. Enemy no. 3. A habit most men over 60 struggle with, not because they choose to, but because they're busy or exhausted after a long day. Salty foods, ultra-processed meals, and late-night dinners. I'm talking about common foods like instant noodles, canned soups, frozen meals loaded with salt, fast food eaten just to save time, salty snacks before bed, or heavy, salty dinners followed by a large drink of water. The problem isn't just the salt, it's how your body reacts at night, when it's supposed to rest and recover. When you eat too much salt, your body must retain water to balance it. That means your bladder has more fluid to handle, especially at night. And if your prostate is already sensitive, even a slight increase in bladder pressure can force you to wake up 2-3 times to urinate. On top of that, ultra-processed foods lack fiber, leading to chronic constipation in many older men, often without them realizing it. When stool builds up in the rectum, it creates direct pressure on both the bladder and the prostate. More urgency, weaker flow diet, more pelvic discomfort. Many patients tell me, "Doctor, I wake up 3 or 4 times a night. I thought that was just aging." But when we look at their evening habits, salty meals, late dinners, and drinking large amounts of water after 8 p.m., the real cause becomes obvious. The good news is that you can improve this quickly by reducing salt at dinner, eating lighter meals in the evening, avoiding large amounts of water after 7 p.m., replacing convenience foods with simple, fresh meals. Just a few days of change can lead to deeper sleep, a calmer bladder, and significantly less pressure on your prostate. My friend, when you look at these 3 familiar enemies, processed red meats, sugary drinks and refined carbs, and salty late-night meals, the most important takeaway is not to see each one as a separate villain. What matters is how they quietly work together, forming a small loop, repeated day after day, eventually adding up to a very big problem. Your prostate, your bladder, your circulation, and your hormones are all influenced by hundreds of small choices you make in each meal, each drink, each nighttime habit. And it's this cumulative effect, not age, that causes so many men after 60 to feel like their bodies are slipping. To help you see this clearly, let me share the story of 2 60-year-old men I once worked with. Same age, similar health, similar lifestyles for decades. Yet, after a short time, their paths became completely different. The first man, continuing his old habits. He began every morning with a few slices of bacon or a sausage, a routine he'd had for decades. At lunch, he drank a cold soda to wake himself up, and in the afternoon he sipped sweet tea to keep his energy going. Every evening, he chose a salty, convenient meal that was quick enough to eat before watching TV, then drank a large glass of water before bed because his throat felt dry. None of this seemed alarming. Nothing seemed extreme. But these tiny details were the exact reason he slept poorly, woke up 3 times a night, felt his urine stream weaken over time, and constantly carried a heavy, uncomfortable sensation in his lower abdomen. Every morning, he woke up tired, sluggish, and slowly convinced himself that all of this was just old age. He believed there was nothing he could do, and the most dangerous part was, he accepted it. The second man, choosing gentle, gradual change. This man was almost identical to the first, heavy on processed meats, sugary drinks, late salty dinners, and waking up multiple times a night. But he made one crucial decision. He decided to change, even if only a little at a time. On day 1, he removed 1 soda from his lunch. On day 2, he switched from white bread to whole grain. On day 3, he ate dinner 30 minutes earlier and avoided drinking after 7 p.m. Not perfect, not extreme, not a clean, strict diet. Just simple, gentle changes, repeated consistently enough for his body to notice a new signal. After 1 week, he slept a little deeper. After 2 weeks, nighttime trips dropped from 3 to 1. After 3 weeks, his urine stream strengthened, the heaviness in his pelvis faded, and he woke with noticeably more energy. What he told me is something I will never forget. It feels like my body finally decided to cooperate again. After years of me making it struggle, where did the real difference come from? Not luck, not genetics, not more medication. The difference came from small habits, repeated day after day. A lighter dinner reduced pressure on his bladder. Replacing one sugary drink lowered inflammation and stabilized blood sugar. A breakfast with less processed meat made pelvic blood flow more flexible. Eating earlier gave his prostate a chance to breathe overnight. These small changes added up to big results, not overnight, but over weeks and months. Your prostate responds to every choice you make. Your bladder responds to every nighttime habit. Your circulation responds to every food you choose. And your hormones respond to the level of inflammation created by your diet. Medication can help, but your daily lifestyle determines the speed and depth of your recovery. And here's the most important part. You don't need to be perfect. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking they need to overhaul everything at once to improve their health. But the truth is, the male body after 60 doesn't need harsh discipline. It needs consistency. One small step, repeated daily, is far more powerful than a drastic change you abandon after a few days. And the most encouraging truth is this: your body wants to recover. You just need to give it the chance. My friend, the most important thing I want you to remember after understanding these 3 enemies is this: don't blame yourself, and don't feel like you need to change everything at once. The truth is, a man's body after 60 does not need perfection. What it needs are consistent signals, slow, steady, repeated day after day. Every good choice sends a clear message. I'm supporting you, and your body hears that. Many of the men I work with start out worried. They think they need to cut out all meat, eliminate all sugar, or follow strict diets to improve. But then they realize something surprising. Just changing 1 or 2 small habits, like removing soda, reducing salty dinners, or choosing a lighter breakfast, is enough for the prostate to respond quickly. Suddenly they sleep better. Their urine flow becomes stronger. The heaviness in their lower abdomen fades. And most importantly, they begin to feel that their body is reliable again. Age does not determine everything. Your daily pace and the choices you make every day shape the quality of your health for the next 10-20 years. After identifying the 3 major triggers of inflammation and poor pelvic circulation, it's incredibly helpful to also know the allies that can support your prostate and urinary system every single day. Not exotic superfoods, not complicated recipes. Just simple, accessible choices. Cooked tomatoes rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant for prostate tissue. Extra virgin olive oil keeps blood vessels flexible and circulation stable. Salmon, sardines, herring omega-3 seconds calm inflammation throughout the body, especially the pelvic region. Beans, lentils, nuts, fiber that keeps your bladder and bowels running smoothly. Colorful vegetables, the more color, the more anti-inflammatory nutrients. Green tea, gentle, rich in polyphenols, doesn't spike blood sugar. When these friendly foods appear more often on your plate, your body adjusts on its own. Inflammation drops, blood flow improves, and the tissues around your prostate finally get a chance to recover. It's not hard to begin. Just add 1 helpful food and remove 1 inflammatory food each day. That alone is enough to shift your body toward a stronger state. And here's something many men in their 60 seconds, 70 seconds, and even 80 seconds forget. Your body still has far greater healing power than you think. Circulation can improve. Inflammation can drop. Your sleep can deepen. And your prostate, even when irritated, can calm down when it receives the right signals through daily habits. I've worked with so many men who believed they were too old to change. They were used to waking up 3-4 times a night, used to the pressure in their lower belly, used to feeling tired every morning. But after just a few weeks of gentle changes, their faces changed, their eyes looked brighter, Their posture stood taller, and their voice returned with confidence. Change is not a battle. It's like opening a window in a room that hasn't breathed in years. If you feel like your symptoms are just part of aging, I want you to know this. Age is not a sentence. Your body always wants to recover, you just have to give it the chance. Before you leave this video, remember one simple sentence that can shape your health for years to come. The real enemy of your prostate isn't age, it's the small habits you repeat every day. And the beautiful thing is, every one of those habits can be changed, starting with one small decision. If what I shared today gave you clarity, or even a bit of hope, please hit like. It tells YouTube that men's health over 60 matters, and helps this message reach other men who quietly need it. And I'd love to hear from you. Which of the 3 enemies today do you eat most often? Leave a comment below. I read every single one. And your experiences help me create the most helpful videos for our community. Thank you for taking the time to care about your health. And remember, just one small step each day, your body will take care of the rest.